Zucchino Rampicante squash is a Italian heirloom zucchini and is without a doubt the best zucchini I have ever grown for so many reasons that will all be revealed as we go. Yes, this is a long, info-packed video. However, we are following a full growing season covering hand pollination, harvesting, cooking, winter food processing, reviewing, and trellising. Let's get growing and going. It's May 10th, and I am out here growing this squash, and you can see we've got a lot of good root production. So I am going to plant that right there. I've already got one on this side. Got it in 2 bowls here, so when I go to water, all I'm doing is I'm looking for the bowls everywhere. June 14th, and we are back in these tomato bins looking at this Italian vining zucchini, and I have put black pepper from Kroger all over them because you can see the groundhogs are coming back here, plopping themselves down and eating them. And I can see there's like a little nodule down here, and I also seen some right here. Oh, and one right over there. You can see that. June 26th, and look at how big. Oh, look. Oh my gosh, it's the first time I've seen this one. July 1st, and I am getting this vine to start going up my trellis. It's growing like a weed, so I'm pretty sure that this can get all the way around, since it's supposed to, or can, get up to 40 feet vines. Now you can see I've got some flowers here that have developed and died. I have not been able to hand pollinate anything out here. That's a male. I've got no open blooming females at the moment. There's a female, but she is not open. Yeah, but look at how cute this tendril curl is here. How long they are when they are fully extended. So you can see that's quite a bit. And that's why that curl or coil is that big. Let me just feel this real quick. Oh yeah, that's some good sturdiness right there. July 6th, we've had 2 days of rain, which is fantastic. I think this is pretty good though. This might be viable, and I completely missed. I didn't pollinate this myself, so maybe the bees are working for me. Oh my God, should I dare to dream? Okay, what I'm noticing on this is you'll have a lot of male flowers, and then you'll have maybe one that will flower as a female. Obviously this is the female. It's on the end of the actual fruit. The males don't have the fruit. I mean, this variety is super easy to tell what the female is. Right here's another little baby female, and that looks pretty yellowed. Not sure if that'll make it or not. Right next to it is another female. Has not bloomed at all yet, just like this. This one has not bloomed, but it's getting nice and big and ready. But I noticed that a lot of the times the male and the female are not coordinating their bloom times very well. There's another bloom back there. That's a male, not open, but that's okay because no females are open right now anyway, so that works out well. Probably gonna have to wait maybe another day or two, and then hopefully I can flop this on top, and maybe it'll catch up here on this trellis. July 13th, and you can see I have a open female. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a male flower. I'm gonna take off all of the surrounding leaves, or petals, I should say, around it. And I am going to stick it in there and try and pollinate that bad boy. So this is a female because it has a little plant attached. you can see, this one did not get pollinated. And none of them have gotten pollinated. Another one. I have got a male right here that's still open. And you can see it's just long and slim. That's your males. I'm going to take this off and the petals off of this. You can see all the pollen that has sort of cupped down in there. I'm just going to stick that in there and rub it around. And actually, I'm going to do this better off the camera. And what I want to do is I want to hold this whole thing so nothing comes attached. And I want to use 2 hands. So this little knob is the end of the bloom. And if I take that and just roll that around while I'm holding the petal here, the petal, and the actual bottom of this zucchini, I can pollinate this pretty well. But I cannot do this with one hand. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what you would need to do. And you're trying to do this very delicately. Rotate this very delicately. Remember, when these blooms open, you've got about 48 hours to come in here and get this job done. That's it. They close up after the first 48, and this was the first time I've seen a female open when I have actually had males. And that's why everything is just doing this. This is the biggest one that I have seen so far. I mean, look at how big that is. I think this might be successful. And I've also marked it here because as I've been hand pollinating my melon, I've been doing that as well, my watermelon and my cantaloupes. And it's the same concept. If you already know how to do that, you already know how to do this. They're in the same family. Alright, you guys, so I have attached the actual petals from the stamen. And I am going to get up here and fertilize this. Pollinate, I should say. And I'm just gonna twist it around a little bit. I don't know, I'm being so quiet, like it's a medical procedure. Alright. And I forgot my marker. It's probably good enough. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Alright. Okay, I just looked up and seen that there is a third one right here, female. So I'm gonna do the same thing and pollinate that. But I do want to point out, these actually fall down, meaning that the bloom falls down. So if it rains, they're not gonna wash this pollen out as much as melons where the blooms are all pointed up. So I feel really good about that. And here's what I pollinated yesterday. And you can see that it has closed up. It was July 16th. And I think it's time that I cut one of these squash. How beautiful and long that is. There's actually a bigger and thicker one right here. And I think it's time that we cut that. And look at that. That's gonna be gorgeous. And they're supposed to be sweet. So I am gonna go ahead and cut that probably right in the middle of there. And you can see from my blue mark, I'm sorry, my black mark, that I did go ahead and hand pollinate that one myself. In the house, I've got it measured. And look at that. It's probably about 15 inches long there. I decided just to pan fry these. Butter and olive oil, a little bit of garlic salt. This tastes so good. Ugh. It does taste sweet before you cook it, and after you cook it, after the temperature goes down, then you can really taste the sweetness in there. 19th of July, and look at everything that we've got going on out here. I've got 2 right here in a row, 1, 2, I've got another one way back there. That one was difficult to hand pollinate, but I got it done. Oh my God, it's bigger than the other one. It has a bigger bulb than the other one. This zucchini is running rings around the green machine zucchini. So good, I can't wait. I've never been like this excited about a zucchini before, and getting to eat zucchini again and wanting more of the quantity that I had, because I'm not really a big zucchini person. A little bit flexible. Really surprised at how much I liked this green skin, because I was very much questioning if this was going to be too much of a green, natural, earthy taste for me rather than the black zucchini, because I really do not care for a yellow squash. This was so flippin' good, you guys. I cannot believe I'm looking forward to eating this, having another one so I can have a huge quantity to eat at one time. I'm actually pretty impressed by 22, 23 inches this zucchini got. So this is about double from the first one that I tried. I'm really hoping that the fact that it's double is not going to affect the tenderness or the taste, but you can definitely tell how much bigger this bulb is than the one that I used or ate the other day. I decided to slice up and fry up exactly the same way that I did last time, that very large zucchini. So I got a lot of good caramelization going on over there. It is a little bit seedier in that bulb area than the other one was because it was bigger. Really not tasting much of a difference at all. It's still so tender, you guys. Hey guys, July 22nd, and look at that. It's starting to come back down my trellis for me. So that's gonna be outstanding. They are a little stubborn to get in there, and I think it's because they're such huge leaves. And this is kind of a skinny little trellis. Lots of little lovely babies coming up this way. Some more up top here. The birds are having a good morning, it sounds like. Look how closely it looks like these leaves and the actual plant. There's not too much differentiation unless you're really looking close at them. They really do camouflage each other. That one, I know I hand pollinated this one for sure. Pollinated, so I could barely reach it. Look at that. These are all very, very gorgeous. Look at this mess of tendrils that you have here. Nice. Oh my God, I'm so pleased with this. Moving and grooving there. I am tempted just to go, oh, look that sway. Oh, lordy. I am a little tempted just to go out there and pick them, but I want to see how rough and tough they are. Okay, 24th of July. That flower is actually in the middle of my trellis. Look at that, right on cue. So the bees are definitely finding this. I mean, how could they miss it? This is a huge, big bell-looking blossom up here. And you can see that one right next to it. That one's going to open up. These will open up for us. And look, this vine over here is almost even with the tops of the tomatoes now. Okay, so we've got a nice big bulb here. That might be a little bit larger than I want that bulb to be. Again, it still looks like all of the males are at the bottom of the plant. And it looks like it's letting the ladies climb to safety, or maybe getting a better production. Very gentlemanly of them. So right now it looks like I got about 3 of them out here, and I'm gonna pick this one for sure. I'm gonna cut it, but I'm gonna use 2 hands because, oh, and here's another one back here. To manage in here because these leaves are pretty huge. This is not powdery mildew. This is just a silvery design in that leaf. So so don't freak out. Oh, right, there's a bee going in there, and that's going into a male. Okay, here's one obviously that didn't make it. And you'll find little ones like this. There you go, here's a view this way. So I do need to come over here and sort of maneuver this one and this one. This one I can get to. Definitely not gonna come out here and pollinate all of these with a ladder every day. And you can see up there, there's two right in a row that haven't made it. It's okay, it's not like I need any more. I've got plenty out here. Okay, and you can see they have already attached their tendrils, and they want this side. I would have preferred for them to be slid over here so that I could get this vine, but maybe I can just flop this over and crisscross it. Sometimes you just have to let nature do what it's already doing. And I'm gonna maneuver this tendril on top of here, and I'm gonna kind of get it pretty close to that anyway. This probably isn't gonna stay, but let's try. If not, there'll be enough length for it to stay tomorrow, because they are quite great growers. And I can see these big, huge yellow blooms, and I can also see the zucchini from my kitchen window. I gouged this up with my fingernails a little bit because the skin is so super soft and tender and velvety that's why you get this, because it is so soft. So it's a negative to a positive tender skin. When I just cooked the last batch and it was a little bit bigger, I noticed after I ate it that the sweetness wasn't as there as much as the time before. So that's why I thought, if I pick this ultra little, will that be even sweeter than the very first time I ever cooked that? So that's the experiment there. I'll let you know about that. But right now, obviously I got 5 of these. I am going to make a nice little dinner probably tomorrow because my steak has not marinated. I have a teriyaki marinade on this glazed base, and I'm going to cook up the green beans that I grew. I need to slice the cucumbers that I grew, and this melon that I grew was just on the ground because it let me know it was ripe. Hey guys, so here is the tiniest one. So we can see she is probably about, what, 15 inches, but the girth on this is not very big at all. So I'm hoping that means it's going to be super sweet. Probably about 1 cup. And you can see it's just a little bit seedy. And this is the bulb piece, so these are the biggest pieces. Put this in here so you can kind of see how big of a pile it is. Got a great sizzle, don't we? Get those other 2 pieces in, and you can see just how tiny, teensy that is. I'm going to cook these separately because I really want to see about the sugar content in this. All right, they're good. This is so sweet and caramelized and crispy. This one is a little bit sweeter than this one. This is all off the same zucchini though. So good, you guys. I wonder if you were to grate this and put this in zucchini bread, if it would make it even sweeter. And here's the second one that I have cut up. That was a little bit bigger. And you can see that's probably about 2 cups right there because the girth and everything is just bigger. This was the main girth of that. Ooh, can you hear it back there? I mean, girth is important, but insert your own joke there. Here is the finished product. That little baby zucchini. So good, especially if you cut them extremely thin, about half that thin. They will crisp up for you. Look at how beautiful and open and overhead these are. I'm loving it. I did come out here and fix this little wrong with some white duct tape, and this is already This thing, it grows so fantastic. So let's try and get it behind this one, which is super easy because it's super young, super flexible. I get this tendril on this side. These tendrils, you can't really curl them on your own like you can a young melon or a bean, but you can sort of pick them up, guide them, maneuver them a little bit, but twisting doesn't really happen with those tendrils. Look at that little tiny one right there. Is that not adorable? Look at that. Tiny little zucchini on a huge, huge flower. Some over there as well. There's Fifi. I did come out yesterday and you can see how these blooms, this was just resting on a leaf, how gross and soggy that is. And here, I've just sort of been picking these up because I don't want it to cause any problems. And I also got out the brown leaves and the yellowing leaves, and that was the first time that I had cut on this plant at all. So I see no signs of squash bugs. I see no signs of problem or disease. Another one back here. I'm just gonna remove this one too. I mean, it just lifts right off like it's half rotten. Look at all the rest of this. Oh, look at the root here. Look at how dark green that is, almost black at the very soil line. Well, I couldn't be more pleased. I've got 3 on the counter to use or give away, and I can't decide if I want to freeze them, cut them up and freeze them, or if I just want to use them. But look, I'm gonna have so much more to replace, and I'm doing nothing. I mean, at this point, I can't hand pollinate those up there. These ones I could probably get to, but it seems as if I don't really need to do the hand pollinating anymore. Maybe it was I didn't need to do that at all. But you could see how easy it was to hand pollinate. And here's 2 bees right in this one, which is a male. And you see that they keep going up to this, so up to this bundle of yellow clusters of blooms. How much does this little girl enjoy her catnip out here, huh? Yes, she loves it. I know she does. She loves it. Roots around. I know. Yes. There's a wild catnip everywhere around here. Yeah, I know. She's got the biggest eyes. This Italian zucchini has probably been one of the biggest successes for a brand new seed or variety that I have tried this year. All the male flowers, they are starting to come up to this height now, and there's one right back there that you can see, but from that point on it's like all females here. You see about 5 right here. You see that? They are so adorable. Obviously, all of these ones up here, I have not been doing any hand pollinating on. And there's a bee right back there. You don't need to. When these open up, they are just huge and vibrant. And you can see that one back there, that's a boy that's standing up a little bit. And the girls seem to point down because they're weighted down, because those yellow bells of blooms and blossoms are being weighed down and directed down by that zucchini, especially if you're going to vine it. So it's kind of a pretty great system here, except, you know, these boys over here, if it rains, they could have their pollen diluted or possibly washed out. But once they are pollinated, it seems to be that they stay. I got my kitchen stool, and I thought I'd give you a closer view of these. Isn't that gorgeous? really, really loving how they vine. And I got just this little one that I'll pull out since I'm up here. Look at how fantastic those tendrils look. Oh, so great. Look how it's attaching here for us. Wonderful. So you can see just how skinny this trellis is. So if you have something like a cattle panel, you're not going to have to do as much maneuvering as I've had to do. This one's not going to make it either. It's already fallen off. I'm going to take this one. Look at this tomato down here. All right, I'm going to have to tie this up. This is kind of a cool area view of everything. So let me just show you around the tomato bin area. Hey guys, I have another little teeny tiny zucchini, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna incorporate it in here with some onion and this marinated steak. You can see how chunky I left these pieces of zucchini, and there's not a lot because it was a little baby one. Steak looks great. This zucchini has turned out wonderfully. The teriyaki sets that off well. I made this yesterday on cookie sheet, olive oil, and put some nice seasoning on it. It's still good, even cool. 28th of July. Look at how gorgeous these are today. 4 nice big ones right in a row. So gorgeous. Lots of pollinators in here still. Of course. Yeah, I didn't pollinate any of this over here because I just was not going to get the step stool out and do that every time I seen it. So the bees helped there. So here's what I'm noticing. This is the point I want to make about these boys. They'll start down here. They'll let the girls go first, but then they sort of keep pace or distance with those females as they crawl along these vines, and the blooms set and the fruits set along these vines. I'm not really seeing too much that needs to be cleaned out. This doesn't really need a lot of maintenance. That's just hanging here. So this is it. I mean, this is a real easy variety to tend to. I'm in zone 5. Totally recommend. I decided to go ahead and freeze up some of our zucchini. So I just washed it, dried it, cut it up, put it on a cookie sheet on top of parchment paper, and waited for them to freeze up. Now that they're froze, I'm just gonna go ahead and put them into my pre-labeled bag and pop them back into the freezer. I can keep doing this process over and over again and keep adding things to my baggie. Easy breezy. See this little beading right here? This is the juice, and there's a little bit of like a sticky glide to it. So you can tell there is some sugar content in here. It doesn't feel just like water. There's a little bit of a slide in here. You don't really see the seeds. Those don't show up until you get into the bulb itself. And you can kind of see it here just beginning on the end of that bulb. When you slice these, like, let's take this piece right here. It's not watery at all in here. And I'm putting let me put a little bit of pressure on this. Yeah. This is not a watery, flimsy little zucchini here. Another young one right here, but I'm starting also to get these side shoots that come out of here, and I'm starting to get a little bit of yellowing of these leaves. August 6th, and we had a terrible heavy windstorm, and it took the zucchini down. You can see this just broke off, but the stems are still intact. That bird is so happy this morning. And these are still fine. I need to come out here and clean this up a little bit. See, I've got 3 outside tables supporting it. I'm a little ill over this, I gotta tell you. Gardening can break your heart a little bit here. Okay, August 8th. This is how I got the squash zucchini off of the ground. You can see right there where that is completely bent. See right there, it's completely out of the rails. It almost looks like a Cedar Point ride. If you don't know what Cedar Point is, that's an amusement park. It looks like roller coaster tracks. So I've used these bird feeder hangers. I've got 3 of them under here, and I've got them hooked to where they are hooking the trellis. And I think this one's just propped up however I could get it, because that was the heaviest, since there's the start. And I discovered another zucchini, and they're still giving me stuff. You guys, it is 76 degrees out here, winds, high humidity. This should have been a biggest loser challenge because I am exhausted, I am sweaty, I need some lunch. You guys, if this was not so good of a vegetable, I mean, this is a testament to how good this is, because I would not have done this if this was average or below. I would have ripped it out. I do not like an eyesore, but they're so good. And I kind of didn't want to be without them fresh. I mean, this right here, this is the showstopper of the year for me. To be honest with you, oh, look at that. I kind of like it flat like that. It reminds me of a pergola. And I do love Italy, and I do love a pergola. Got one growing here, got one growing here. I'm gonna put these side shoots up, and you can see they're already attaching from yesterday. So I'm gonna weave these side shoots up here, because I believe it's sufficiently dried out now. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna be all kind of grateful that I got this off the ground. The groundhogs aren't on it. It's still producing. And I'm just gonna move forward from there. They're bouncing back beautifully. This little shift has not bothered them whatsoever. August 20th, and this is the largest amount of these zucchini squash that I have had on here. And I've got 3 right here, one with this gorgeous full bloom going on. Look at that. Look at how much pollen is in there. Look at how big and frilly these blooms are. It feels so good. All right, look at this. Beautiful, you guys, beautiful. Got another one down here. All right, you guys, here is the 6th one. I did not get 6 zucchini out of the green machine, and here I have got 6 all at the same time after several harvests of this zucchini, where I usually get anywhere from 2 to 3 at the time. Now I've got 6. I just gave 2 of these away 2 days ago because I have quite an abundance of them. So pleased, you guys, so pleased in every single way with this. And when everything else is dying out, this is still going strong because it's also considered a winter squash. Bonus. I got a huge zucchini, and I could not finish it up in the stir fry, so we are going to freeze it up using the smallest grate in the nicer dicer. All right, that's how thick they are. I've got them lined up for smash them, put them on your cookie sheet, make sure they got enough air, pop them in the freezer. You're going to be able to sneak so much zucchini into every. Possibilities are limitless. There's and a few little squash bugs that just now found it. My God, look. Here we go. Look at that. The bulb's getting kind of big here now. So I'm just gonna cut it and I'm gonna let it fall. Woo! Probably cut that one right now. Look at how thick this one's gotten. All right, see this one back here? I need to cut that one too. There's one over there that's pretty thick I need to cut as well. And you can see it's just taken over back here. After this fell down and the side shoots just started going. Oh, that is a lot of heavy food right there. Look how huge that zucchini is. If you notice the bulb on this biggest one compared to the one in the back, which is obviously not as big, but the bulb really got elongated and quite fat. This one here ended up being 28 inches. I am curious to see with this one, but particularly this one, how much seeds and how watery this is going to be. So I'll check back in when I start to cut that. All right, here we go, and look at this. The middle of it, I needed to take out because I can get my finger through this very easily. So it is mushy and very seedy. Okay, it kind of felt, it's kind of the same technique as if you want to scoop out the middle of a cucumber because you don't like it. However, the feeling of it doesn't feel like a cucumber. It feels like a pumpkin or like a spaghetti squash. After I cut everything, I then put it through my strainer and I got the seeds out. And here are the picked out seeds. I've labeled those seeds as well. I can compare them to the seeds that I just bought if you want a second reference point. And you can see seeds are about the same size and about the same depth or density. Okay, they're real thin. Real thin. We've got it. All we really have to do is let them air dry. And I do want you to see, can you see the little sugar beads that comes off of this stuff? And it looks like it's just around that green skin area. But it's got that stickiness still to it, just like when it was young. All right, you guys, I tasted the bulb of that big, huge one. They fry up real nice. They are just a touch looser than the smaller ones are because these are really more tighter and sort of a little bit more fibrous. These, since they have the seed, they are going to be a little bit looser for you, but nothing like some of the other squash out there. So I'm gonna pair this, and this is the whole entire one right here. And I'm talking about that 28 incher that I showed you. August 30th, I have eaten the other ones that were out here during this wave. But look at how huge this thing is. The bulb is. Seems like they definitely get bigger as the seasons go by. Or as the season go by. September 1st, and look at how huge these are getting. Look at this down here. Absolutely huge, and it's got some weight on it. It doesn't seem to lilt as quickly as a small one does. It has some storage power here. This is really what I want to show you though. Look at this one. This one was at the base and it wasn't hanging down, almost like it has a seam. All right, so this all looks non-seedy, non-watery until you get to this big old bulb here, and you can see, look at all of the fiber the stringy fiber that is in there for you. That's something you're into. Got some nice big seeds down here. September 15th, and you can tell that the trees are starting to turn colors. Took the majority of the sunflowers down, and just on this one end right here, I have got 5 zucchini. There's 2. There's a third with a tendril coiling around that. And back here, there are 2 more. Okay, that's 5. Now, I've got one right back there. I've got one right there. Actually, I've got 2 of them. You can see the head of it. I've got a couple growing up back here. I keep having to pull them back from the trees. There's at least 2 that I can see. I'm gonna go to the other side. And it's coming way out here, and look at this. So I went to the other side, but not spiritually. Just the other side. And there's 2 here, and there's 2 here. I'm having trouble getting in here so I can get my tomatoes. And you can see that other one over here. Now I'm gonna go back around to this side so you can have a little gander. Okay, here's that one. Here's another one. That's all in these trees. I've had to pull them out of these lilac bushes. Look at that. It's just incredible. So I'm gonna have to do some more cutting and freezing of these. Not that I'm complaining. I hope they're gonna be fantastic in the winter. There's one right in there too. Wants to attach to everything. Okay, maybe I can get this over on this side so I can actually get in here. Oh, here's another one buried. There's a couple more. There's that one I could see as well. They're just fabulous, you guys, fabulous. So that was 5, I see 3, that's 8, 9, let's say 10, 11 down there. I'm gonna say a minimum of 11 is what we've got brewing at this time. And look at this, I'm just surrounded by them. I'm loving it. This is the ultra new vegetable of 2022 for my garden. Oh my God, I'm loving it. Okay, September 24th. Look at how huge that thing is. Oh my God. This is gonna make an excellent little cup. I would think the bulb of this would be bigger as long as this is, because this is pretty thick now. There's a lot of weight, a lot of food in there. October 16th. And you can see we've got a lot of things that are dying out here. It's supposed to be 40s. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna take everything off that's salvageable. 2 little skinny ones here. Look at that. I think I'm just gonna cut them and freeze them so I can saute them at a later time. All right, it is October 21st, and yesterday for about an hour, it did some flurrying here. It was very surprising, very beautiful, ridiculously chilly. Today's supposed to be 70 though. So I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna see what I can salvage as far as these little babies. And Redmond's out here causing trouble. Petite, these would actually be really good gourmet eating. You probably actually have to pay a lot of money for them to get them this petite. 25th of October, and we are back here looking at this zucchini, and I just wanted to make sure you knew that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stems back here. That plant, all you needed was 6 plants to create all of that food, and my freezer is jam-packed with this zucchini, you guys. January 7th. So you can see this is some of that frozen Italian zucchini. Here was my first batch. Here's my second batch, which needs to be taken off. Oh my God, it's still as good as it was in summer. Still sweet. It's not watery. If you steam it, it's going to be watery, but fried, delicious. All right, I got to get this on fire. I am so glad that I took the time to cut, freeze, and process all of this zucchini for my winter time enjoyment. It was not a waste of my time. It feels so good to have some of this summer harvest in the middle of January. Time for the review. Let's make this quick. I appreciate you staying with me till the end here. So I got these from Baker Creek. I did buy this in the 2022 catalog. This was their 25th edition. Absolutely fabulous catalog. All right, here is the beautiful little seed packet. I love how they accent with black. They have almost the same picture. I love how they just do their artwork here. I love that crackly board on the back, that weathered chippy look there. And I love how they just visually give you all of this information. You can see what the bloom looks like full, you can see the bulb, you can see how long the neck is, you can see it sliced. You have a reference point of size back here with all the coins. It's just, it's fantastic. And on the back, they give you all of the appropriate growing information. So it takes 5 to 10 days to sprout. You're gonna plant them 1/2 to 1 inch deep. They've got spacing requirements. I usually do not follow that at all. They're not frost hardy. And they require at least 8 to 12 hours of minimum sun, which you can see in the video. They had plenty of sun. Now let's read what they've got to say. 70 days, the famous Italian heirloom vining zucchini and pumpkin. Well, I don't like pumpkin, so if this is what the rest of the pumpkins taste like, sign me up. Long, slender, 15-inch fruit. Now you can see I got much bigger than 15-inch fruit. Has a fat bulb at the bottom. It is one of the best tasting summer squash. So true. Very tender, mild, and sweet tasting. All true. The flavor is superb. This squash is also great as a winter squash. The Italians use it for stuffing gnocchi and ravioli. The flesh is rich and flavorful, great for baking pies. The vines produce good yields, and we definitely seen that. I did not show you all of the harvests. I would have been constantly out there video. Vines produce good yields of this great all-purpose squash. The mature fruit grows very long. We've seen this. This one is in very high demand at specialty markets. Well, I totally and completely see why. Listen, you guys need to grow this. That's all that there is to it. Even if you don't have space, make something like I did. That's all you need to do here. Totally, completely recommend it on every single level. This was one of the easiest, most prolific thing I have ever grown. And it definitely made me a fan of lots of zucchini. Oh my God. I used to could just maybe handle a little bit of fried zucchini, maybe once, twice a year. I was craving this, which is crazy to me. So, oh my God, I could not recommend this more to you. I want to thank you so much for watching this video and staying till the end with me. I know it was rather long, but you guys have been a fantastic hang. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. I have lots of videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I invite you again to subscribe, as I have been gardening for over 40 years and have a lot to teach, show, grow, review, experiment with, and my favorite, a specific variety everything deep dive. So let's try new things together, mix it up, and have a glorious day.